right, you guys, we finally got a chance to live stream again. I just want to. I had told you guys before, I'm just odd, and for some reason, the idea of calling the streams "No Condiments" humors me because I freaking hate condiments. Uh, but I don't hate the stream, so I don't even know how that makes sense. But the No Condiments live streams are these live streams where you just come in and you can talk about absolutely anything you want. Now I'm trying to see which is going to be better for me to see your chat here. S-Blank's here. Hey, Kaiser. And Saya, Anbu, Randy. Hey, Spazdev, Johnson, J Money, condoms. Well, we can talk about condoms. Hold on a second. I'm going to switch this up. I'm going to turn this way. And I'll put this over here like that there. I'm just trying to see which way I can see you guys' chat the best. Yeah, this works better. Oh, that's much better. Now I can see what we're talking about here. I'm using the Prism Live studio for streaming again. Seems like it's got a lot of features. We'll see how we like it. I've been watching you ever since your Filthy Frank reactions. I really miss old Papa Franco. Those were some fun days. I completely get, why he did what he did, why he had to step away, especially now. His his videos wouldn't even be allowed on modern YouTube anyway. But I'm curious, any of you guys that still follow his music career, and I heard some of his music, it's good. Besides STFU, how's he doing? How's his music career doing? Is he doing well with it? Sajil leaves the super chat and says, I'm here to exploit the minorities. Where are they? Okay, minorities, please line up for exploitation, if you would, please. I don't think that's an unreasonable request. He does make nice music. I just want Dark Art. I wonder how he's doing with it, how his career is doing. Destiny's Meltdown? He's a psychopath, J Money. I mean, he's just... do you want me to be honest? I mean, Destiny just strikes me as one of life's losers who's just having a difficult time coming to grips with the fact that he's a loser. I mean, I have no use for the guy. I think he's full of shit. I think that most of the things he does just for clicks and to generate attention to himself, and mixed in with a little bit of the fact that I think he's probably just a deeply unhappy person. He can pretend as much as he wants that he's cool with his wife banging everybody, but I don't think that's the case. Wolverine says, minority here, just here to teabag all the altar boys. Who's Destiny? Kaiser, you don't even want to know. Just another random run-of-the-mill dork. Oh, Jill. Jill let off with the first bad pun of the day. Hey, Curtis, can I still catch up with the stream? Because it's no condiments. No, you may not. You leave the condiments out of it. So, what do you guys think with Trump's shot to the ear there? You guys think that's going to give his campaign a bump? I kind of do. I want to see what you guys say, and then I'll tell you what I think. I don't think like a major bump. I don't think we're going to see Nixon McGovern here or anything, but I do think it's going to give him a little pop, and I'll tell you guys why after I read what you guys think. Sajil says for sure. Mr. Shank says yes. It's Rosca says ha ha ha. No, you mayo not. Dark Guard says he's going to win because of it. Yeah, time will tell. And you never know, too, Humanoid Wolf, how long something stays in people's minds. J Money says he definitely won the election with that fist bump after. That's more where I'm thinking. Gonna get him that Zenkai boost. Everybody thinks it. And I do agree it'll give him a pop. We'll see, because you guys know me. I'm a stat nerd. I like numbers and shit, so I always follow the polls. We'll see in the upcoming days. They'll start having polls come in that happened after the the incident. But the reason I think it's going to help him is just because of what was alluded to here. I I don't know that he did it on purpose, but that whole fist bump and the fight thing, and them getting that iconic picture of him, with the fist up and the blood coming down and the big American flag in the background. The thing is, you have to superimpose that against most people's most recent memories or photographs in their mind of Biden, which was him at the debate going, and that's going to be rough. They're going to have that's going to be tough, and the Trump team is going to point that out. This is our guy. This is their guy. I think it's going to give him a boost. Sajil says, where does that rank the most historical moments in our lifetime? Well, it's definitely up there, I think, Sajil. Yeah. It was an assassination attempt on they're at the convention now, but we all know he's going to be a candidate for the president of the United States of America. And somebody who's actually, it's not like an afterthought, the guy who's currently leading in the polls. Yeah, it's pretty significant. I mean, there's been a lot of in my lifetime, there's been a lot of big moments because my lifetime's been really a long time. But yeah, it's up there. And again, it's that iconic picture. That could not have worked out better for him. There are still people, I just never stop being amazed at the idiocy of people. And it's on both sides with these conspiracy theories about everything, certainly on both sides. But now with the left, do you see all the people on social media who genuinely believe that this was a put on, a show, that this was designed by Trump and his team, that it wasn't a real? I mean, it's stunning, this stupidity of people. Anbu, thanks for the super chat. He says, I the dirty Mex I can. We're just, it had been brought up that maybe some people were here to abuse minorities. It's probably wrong, but I'm just not a good judge of morality. Hey, Shelby. Oh, that's a good point to talk about too. Captain Dave says the Secret Service and the sweep team both failed at their respective jobs in a big way. Big way. Jeez, how is that possible, you guys? I'm not going to get into the conspiracy end of it, but how is it possible that the best possible vantage point you could have? I saw the overhead view, the Google Earth view of the area. The best possible vantage point you could have for a sniper shot at that stage was completely unguarded. What the hell? Maximus says, we're talking about how Trump became somewhat of a martyr. I think even more than the martyrdom, Maximus. I think it was more he got his badass moment. You know what I'm saying? If it had been a hardcore lefty that had shot at him, I think he'd have it more of the martyrdom thing. But that iconic picture is going to carry him a long way, I think. So you got to give him credit for that. I mean, he got up, and the guy was literal millimeters away from getting killed. And he got up screaming, fight, fight, fight. So, yeah. Man, good to see you, pal. He says, and thanks for the super chat. He says, I too hate condiments. Curtis really is my long lost great aunt. Thank you, Curtis Chan San Kun Senpai. Auntie Curtis. It sounds like I should have like a line of pies or something. Auntie Curtis pies. You want some Curtis pie? Little boy. Oh no, did he? Chrome says, so Juicy Jack Black just canceled his Tenacious D tour after his co-star joked about wishing the sniper didn't miss. I saw his co-star joking about the sniper not missing, So why they canceled? They're afraid. Wow, it's a stupid thing to say, especially the the way that emotions are running so high, and how politically charged and volatile, obviously, politics in America is right now. That was an insanely stupid thing to say. So you'd almost have to be afraid going forward for this safety of your band, your crew, the people that come to the show. That was dumb. Oh, Chrome's got. Hold on, I'm going to click Chrome's link real quick. I want to see what happened there. Jack Black says all future creative plans for Tenacious D are on hold and the tour is canceled. Kyle Gass on stage about the. Wow. Why would you say something so insanely stupid? I mean, that's just stunning. Again, with the world the way it is right now, and even if you believe that, to say it on stage, not only in front of a group of people, but obviously the whole world has their phones out, videotaping at all times. You know everything's going to hit the internet immediately. And with the emotion being as supercharged as it is right now, it's beyond stupid. Well, thanks for being in, Rosca. Well, you could. Press play, Chase. I had a toddler moment and I'm present now. Good to see you, Shy. Oh, his co-star did release an apology. That's a good thing. You give him credit for taking ownership of it, but I mean, it's just mind-numbingly stupid. Crazy dumb to say that. Dark Guard says, "Hey Curtis, do you think they're going to change Bleach TYBW anime to be different from the manga?" I have no idea. I haven't read the manga, and of course, I haven't been able to keep up on Bleach because I don't have any time to watch aside from what I watch for the various channels, and of course, we can't do Bleach because it got hit with copyright at the Goosh. Spazdev says, before the assassination attempt, I think Biden was up on the polls, but Trump is definitely up now. Overall, Spazdev, and the only reason I know this is, like I say, I'm a numbers geek, so I watch the polls all the time. Trump had a slight lead anyway, in the cumulative. You'd get an occasional poll where Biden was in front, but overall, Trump had around a 2.2, around there, point lead. But with the way the system works with the Electoral College, a lot of people get hung up on those head-to-head polls, and they really don't mean a damn thing. You just got to look at the polls in the swing states. The big advantage Trump has right now, being a numbers geek, over Biden is all the states that are predicted to go to Trump are safe. They're going to Trump. Now you got the swing states that have been leaning Trump, but you even got Biden with some of the secure blue states in jeopardy. That's what really hurts him. There was just a poll came out today or yesterday, with Trump having, and it was a VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University poll, not exactly a bastion of conservatism. It was a VCU poll, and they have Trump leading by 3 in Virginia. Virginia's not supposed to be a swing state. There have been polls coming out that shows Trump with a slight lead in Jersey. Jersey is not a swing state. So that's what they're up against. That's what the Biden campaign is up against. It's bad enough that you're behind in the known swing states, but you got ones that you thought were pretty safe for you becoming swing states. So that's where they're really in trouble. Dimmy makes a good point. He says, I'm glad he missed. I can't imagine what Trumpers would do if he got wrecked. It's true. I mean, we all talk about that, and it's easy to forget the magnitude of something because it went a certain way. But I agree 100% with what Dimmy's saying here. If the worst had happened with that shot, and again, as politically charged and as fired up as everybody is, and the vitriol that's present in this country right now, I think, as Demi's alluding to, you would not have been able to hold the Trumpers back. They wouldn't have waited for any kind of explanation. They're not going to wait to find out who did it. I think it just would have been, it would have been bad. It would have been bad. Okay, really, really bad. Curtis says, "Do you think the new president of the U.S. would change the U.K.?" Not particularly, Curtis. I don't think we have. I think sometimes in general, especially our U.S. media, now, granted, as you know, the still the biggest, or certainly the most respected military in the world, the U.S. has an important role. But as far as our influence with our allies, I think it's pretty limited. I mean, you guys got enough of your own shit to deal with in the UK, just like we do here. And I think most of the day-to-day citizens of the UK, and we have plenty of people from the UK here with us. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. I think you guys are more like, are the same as us here in America. You're worried about your own local government, your own federal governments. You don't have time to worry about what the hell we're doing over here. Not when it comes to voting or your day-to-day life. Yeah, I saw that, Chrome. Chrome says it's also confirmed that the Secret Service knew the shooter was there for nearly half an hour before anything. Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest stunner to me. I just, how does that happen? I don't have a good explanation. I can't imagine how that's possible. I always thought, and especially nowadays with the technology you have, again, I could see how you just go on Google Earth and you can see how the top of that building there that the shooter was on was the perfect spot to be if you wanted to do what he was trying to do. How can they not have secured that? That's mind-bogglingly insane to me. Maximus says Trump becoming president again is so also really scary for me. I just don't see the future going well, no matter who our next president is. I don't think we're to that point, Maximus. I think it's hard not to feel that way because of again how charged everything is right now. I'm going to vote for Trump. I'm going to root for Trump to win. If Biden wins, it's not going to make that much difference in my life. I'll, as a citizen of the United States, I'll continue to give my voice to whatever issues are important to me, just like everybody else should, and we'll go on. I don't think I agree with you that in a country of, what are we up to, 370 million people, whatever it is, the idea of these two being the best we could come up with to run things is just sad. Really, really sad. Dark Art says, "Hey Curtis, you think they're gonna cybernetically enhance Biden already, bro? Finna get full dementia by now." That's the biggest concern. I mean, with we've dealt with people with dementia twice in our lives. You guys have heard me talk about Susie, the woman with Down syndrome who lived with us till the day she passed. And of course, my mom dealing with it right now. And oh gosh, I should have put that video up here where I could play it for you. This video I have of my mom last time I went up and was visiting her. She's got dementia, but she's still a riot. She's still a pisser. But I see so many things in Biden that I saw in both of them, just in the way he presents himself, in his speech patterns, and not only that, just in his very demeanor and his body structure, the way he goes about moving, and it's scary. Chrome says, I mean, I can give you a good explanation, but I know a lot of people aren't willing to accept. I lost it, Chrome. Oh, you mean about why they weren't there? Well, yeah, I mean, you have to wonder. It's one or two things. It's either something nefarious, or unfortunately, the Secret Service is a clusterfuck. Those are the only two options, right? Am I missing something? That you could overlook something as obvious as that sniper's position and not have that secured, again, there's either something nefarious going on or they completely 100% screwed up. And the whole department, the whole operation needs to be looked at. Maximus says, some of my fears are possibly just paranoia, but yeah, I just don't like that our choices aren't people we actually want. I agree with you on that, Maximus. Again, I'm always willing to tell everybody who I'm voting for, and I'll tell you why. But I'm hardly a Trumper. I'm voting for him because his policies align more closely with mine, but certainly not down the line. And I will say too, pal, I mean, it doesn't make that, it's not, in our day-to-day lives, it's not going to make that much difference. I mean, don't buy into the whole, you got the hyperbole going up. You have to remember, I know I'm going off in several different directions. Right now, the Democrats are in panic mode, which is understandable because they're behind significantly in the polls and it's getting close to election time. So they're, everywhere you go, any place on social media, any place on the internet, you have them telling you that it's the end of democracy if Trump gets locked in and he's a fascist and he's Hitler and anybody that's a minority is done. He's going to put you in an internment camp. No, it's not going to happen. Just the same as you got the people on the far right telling you that if you a vote for a Democrat is a vote for communism, is a vote for social. No, it isn't. I mean, just each side, because they have certain leanings, doesn't make them the absolute, doesn't make them Satan. And that's what they would have you believe. How would you change the world today if you were president, Austin? To be honest with you, the president's ability to change the world is certainly limited. I mean, if we want to talk individual issues, I could tell you the things. See, I go back and forth across the aisle on certain things. Like, for instance, I am pro-choice. So that goes entirely away from the right, the conservatives. I'm very pro-Second Amendment, and that stays in line with conservatives. I'm very pro strong borders. I closed borders. Closed borders as far as people getting in that are doing so illegally. I'm a big proponent of immigration. I just think there should be a system and it should be followed. But then again, you go to the other side. I've been a proponent of gay marriage since way before it was cool to be a proponent of gay marriage. So back and forth. Chinese Duck Sauce says, people think presidents have all the power in the world, but in reality, nothing gets approved without a say from the Senate and House. The president can make most decisions. So can't make most decisions solo. True, Duck Sauce. Well, we see that. We see that gridlock all the time. Hell, we've seen on both sides. In fairly recent history, we've seen a Republican president and Republican Congress, and they didn't really get much done. And we've seen the same with the Democrats. So I don't know what the options are. Big Monkey says, I don't think the world will end if Biden wins, but you can't convince he carries himself as well as Trump. Trump's politics speak to me more than Biden's. Right. And that's perfectly reasonable. And Big Monkey, if somebody said the same thing and turned the names around, that would make sense to me. You vote for who will do the things that you believe will make your life better. I've told you guys, as far as the core beliefs, if there's one above everything else, one of the main reasons I lean right, I will never vote for the side that is prone to the concept of taking more of our money, them being the government, giving more of our money to the government to have them then redistribute it back to us. That's a losing proposition every single time. The government has never, ever proven they can handle money well. Ever. Just by the fact that Social Security is in trouble at all. My generation, the boomers, there were tons of us You know how long we've been paying into Social Security? And yet it's endangered? It's endangered because of politicians from both sides of the aisle who have pilfered from it over the years. They can't run anything. I like the government to be an overseer. I wish the Republicans would come down harder on big businesses. They give them way, way too many tax breaks, way too many. But you just can't. I can't get everything I want in either party because again, I go side to side too much. Sergio, thanks for the super chat, pal. Says just got a Lululemon ad, but with a male model. Lululemon, really? I can't picture myself in anything Lulu. I don't think the world wants to picture me in anything Lulu. If they're smart, they don't. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, Combs. She said, "Did you see Hassan and Destiny's comments on the Trump shooting? They're both off. They're both just so far gone." And I think a lot of the times they're just looking for rage engagement as well. Plus, I think they're both idiots. Dark Art says, "Now I've been holding this in long enough. Vote for KSI. My boy may be dumb, but he's gonna do something. Probably not good though." I don't mind KSI. I think he's cool. That's good. At least it wasn't Lemon Party. FX guy says. Spaz Dev says, "Still on the fence on who to vote for. Both have too many issues. Ain't that the truth? Biden should be replaced, in my opinion. He can't go another 4 years." Well, that's what's. Where I think the Democrats really hurt them, and this wasn't hindsight. Hell, we had streams at the time, and I said that. Why on earth did they pick Kamala for vice president? I will never understand that. She is wild. She was wildly unpopular when they selected her. That's what put themselves in this situation. I mean, come on. If the Democrats had a popular person sitting as VP, I don't believe for a second that Biden would be at the top of the ticket. But they know Kamala. Oh, I don't mean to mispronounce her name. Kamala. I don't believe, or I know they don't believe that she can beat Trump or pretty much anybody. She was not popular in her own party. And you can't even say, it didn't even make sense to do it based on race or anything. Simply because Biden was more popular by the numbers with black people than Kamala is or was. He didn't need a boost there. I don't know. That's when they screwed themselves. And with Biden declining like he is, that's really come up to bite them. Chrome says they literally can't replace Biden at this point. If they try to replace him now, they'll be ineligible to be on the ballot in multiple states. Yeah, there's only certain ways they can do it, Chrome. I think he has to be. He has to have a medical diagnosis saying that he can't run. He's unable to run. I think then they can. If I remember what I read right, which wouldn't be hard to get, but then it would hurt the Democrats because then the Republicans would say, "We've been telling you all along the guy lost his mind. You kept saying he didn't." Hey, Fable Thanem. Monkey said, "This is off topic, but the Smiling Friends reactions were epic." Oh, I love Smiling Friends. That show is so freaking funny. I love that show. I'm thinking of, I'm gonna, as soon as I get a chance to edit some up, I'm gonna bring over Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Raven Yelka had been sponsoring it for us over at the Goosh. That's a funny show too. I'm thinking of taking some of those and editing them up for YouTube and posting them over at the Grandpa Curtis channel. See if you guys like those. Those are funny too. That's a funny freaking show. Good old Carl. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Jesse, for the super chat. And Jesse says, "As president, I would declare Free the Titties Day. I would vote for you then." That is one place I could be a one-item voter. 100%. You run on with that at the top of your ticket, I'm with you. And Quasar, thank you for the super chat. Quasar says, "Told everyone that Biden was going to lose, failed to keep promises. Why we the left primaried him. The establishment notices cognitive decline. And Quasar, that was I want to see if I'm reading that right. Why we the left? You're saying you're Democrat. You're on the left because that's what. Why did they do that to you guys? Why did they not allow him to be primary? That was bullshit too. Why would you take away the right to choose the presidential candidate from your own, the people in your own party? You guys didn't even get to vote. Because Biden very well may not have won the primaries. You might have a strong candidate going. They've made a lot of missteps. Them being the DNC. And Sajil, thanks for the super chat. Says new rumors started by CNN are circulating about Iran involvement. Iran involvement in what specifically, Sajil? In the assassination attempt? Really? I hadn't heard that. Really? Wow, I'll have to read up on that. I hadn't heard that. Oh, okay. Quasar says I'm a progressive. The DNC primary was over for because they didn't allow it. Quasar, I don't understand that. And again, I lean right, so I didn't. And I'm an independent officially, but I lean right. But the DNC has done so many things that have just been bad moves. They've sabotaged themselves. Again, started with picking Kamala as vice president. That was terrible. And then, just as you're saying, I mean, I try and put myself in the position of like yours, Quasar. If I'm a member of the Democrat Party and it's time to pick who I want to represent me in the presidential election, and the party comes out and says, you know what? No, you can't pick it. It's this guy. Well, what if I think this guy's lost his mind? Or what if I just don't like him? What if I think he did a shit job? And there's somebody else, excuse me, younger with better ideas coming up. Well, they just gave you the big old fuck you. You can't vote for them anyway. I don't understand it. Oh, okay, wait a second. So Jill says Trump assassination attempt. Just saw the headline on multiple big channels on Twitter. I'll have to check that out. Hey, and Goko loses to heart. Well, thank you for the super chat, pal. He says, hey, brother, last week was rough. Uh-oh. I had to write a victim impact towards the parole board towards the man who drove drunk and took my wife. Oh, man. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that. That is just horrific. That is, you guys know, that's a biggie for me, that whole drinking and driving thing. I don't want to get off on a rant that'll get the stream shut down or something, but there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for it. None, ever. Because this is what happens, is things like this. I'm really sorry to hear that. That's horrible. Jeez. Quasar said, in the DNC staged a coup in 2020, everyone dropped out to endorse Biden so Bernie couldn't get nominated. Oh, yeah. Now, and Quasar, I'll be right up front with you. Of course, Bernie Sanders, everything he believes is totally the opposite end of the spectrum is my beliefs. That said, he got screwed. Oh, there's no question about it. There is absolutely no question about it at all. Geez, that's upsetting. That whole thing with just losing someone to that because someone else is out there drinking and driving. Chrome says, according to CNN, Trump's protection was actually enhanced when the incident unfolded. At the moment, it is unclear if Crooks was in any way related to the Iranian plot. What the hell's going on here? Wow. I'll be reading up on that when we're done, guys. Thank you for bringing that up. Spazdev says, I think one thing that makes me consider Biden is climate change. He's been doing a lot for it, but Trump denies its existence. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. As far as right, you got to vote for what you think is pressing. For me, from my reading, and again, you guys see it all the time. Anytime any issue comes up, the internet is alive with people who are suddenly experts on it. I'm no expert. All I do is I read stuff and do the best I can with my damaged brain to comprehend as much as I can. I believe in climate change. I just don't believe that man has had as much of an impact on it as many people believe. Because when you look at the history of the climate on this channel, or on this channel, look at the history of the climate of Spaz Boys. Don't worry about anywhere else. The history of climate on this planet, we're actually following a trend that is currently riding the exact this is the trend, riding exactly the same way as it has for eons. And there are certainly conflicting results around the globe that you can see as far as ocean levels rising and stuff like that. So it's a tough one for me, because do I believe we're seeing differences in climate? 100%. You can look around and see it. Do I believe that man has had as big an impact on it as some would have you believe? I'm not so sure. Oh my gosh. All right. I can't. Hold on. I got some. There we go. I got rid of it. Okay. Kaiser says, my mother said this all along. Cyclic climate. Yeah. I mean, and the information's there. I mean, you can see it. And part of it could be, too, because I'm so old that I've lived through a bunch of climate alarms in my life, climate events that were going to kill us all so many times over, and they have just not come to pass. It doesn't mean just because the boy kept crying wolf, it doesn't mean that the wolf can't show up. It just means it gives you a little bit of pause. Justin, thanks for the super chat, pal. Good to see you. Says, hey, old man, long time no see. I'm sure you brought this up a million times already, but I'm curious how you react to the whole Trump situation. Witness history book material. Yeah, we were talking about that, Justin. 100%. Definitely. And again, there's no way it was obviously planned, but Trump stepped in shit. I mean, you talk about luck. To have him, well, obviously luck. He turned his head just the right time so that he didn't die. So I guess it was luck. But to have him stand up, throw that fist up, and then have that shot, blood on his face, fist in the air, the angry expression, and the American flag right there in the back. Oh, he just absolutely stepped in shit with that one. Wow. Curtis says, do you believe in multiverse? You know, Curtis, I am fascinated by that, but my level of understanding of the multiverse theory is, and I found this out over and over because we've talked about it many times in live streams, is not anywhere as close to a lot of you guys. When we talk multiverse, I know I'm supposed to be the host, but I spend a lot of time just reading and reading to everybody what people are writing, because so many of you guys are, it's fascinating to me, but so many of you guys are well versed on it. The idea of the multiverse is absolutely fascinating to me. Do I believe in it? I believe in its possibility, put it that way. Thanks again, said Jill. Another super chat says, I believe in climate change and global warming, but I don't believe we need to change our entire society and way of life to improve the situation. Yeah, I mean, when you get reading everything from all sides, you know, people who are experts in the field, it does seem that we're in a peak as far as instability in the climate, but it also seems like we may have been in that peak regardless of we being humans, regardless of our influence on the planet. And Ryan, thanks for the super chat, says, hey Curtis, I'm involved with an Indiegogo project called Roswell and was wondering if you'd like to check it out. Called Roswell. Well, I don't know if you know, Ryan, or you may know, I used to live in Roswell. Indiegogo Roswell. Hold on, if I can find it, I'll bookmark it. Indiegogo I'll put Roswell. So it comes up. Roswell, a sci-fi thriller adult animated series. Is that what I'm looking at? What the hell is it? Okay, there it is. Yeah, I've got it right here. I've got it open in another tab. But again, I don't know if you know that, but I lived in Roswell for several years. And gone. Thanks for the super chat, Val. Appreciate it. He says Joe ordered the hit but forgot about it. Wait, wins now if it comes out as bisexual. Gone. You know what I was thinking? You know what he needs to do? Not again. Right now, Biden's up against what I had said earlier. The impression of Trump right now, or the impression that he can push forward, is that badass picture of the fist raised and the blood on the face and the American flag in the background. And Biden's current picture imprint on America is at the debate. So a lot of people believe that the moonwalk was staged by Hollywood. Hollywood needs to get in there and stage where, like, let's say like aliens have come to Earth and they're about to take over the White House, but Biden comes out and just boom, 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 throws a couple combinations, kicks the shit out of all the aliens and sends them packing. And then you need to get a good, you need to get some good pictures from him actually doing that. Outside of that, he's in a little bit of trouble as far as perception. Raven, hey Raven, good to see you. We're just talking about you and how you're sponsoring Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and how I want to try it out over at the Grandpa Curtis channel. I'm going to edit it up and bring it over there. But Raven, and thank you for the super chat. Raven says, did you catch any of the Alec Baldwin trial this past weekend? I didn't really see the trial. I saw the results. It was so insane how quick it all changed that it ended in dismissal with prejudice because the prosecutors withheld evidence. Prosecutor even took the stand. Oh, wow. That I did not know. Really? I mean, wow. I knew it ended in dismissal. I didn't know there was, holy crap, that much involved in it. I'll have to go back and read up on that. Because like I say, I didn't watch the trial. I just saw the results. Wow. See, the thing, and I don't know all the details of it, but my initial take on that was, and maybe it's because I was brought up around guns. I was taught how to respect guns, how to handle guns from the time I was 5, 6, but we lived out in the country. That's what you did. You went out, you went out target shooting and stuff. You would never see me aim a gun at anyone and pull the trigger unless I had checked it myself. That's just me. Again, I don't know what Alec Baldwin's history is, but I don't give a shit who gave it to me. Once it's in my hand, okay, if I'm shooting a scene, it's in my hand, and I'm supposed to point that gun at somebody and pull the trigger, I'm looking at what's been loaded in there, what's in the cylinder. I don't care who else was involved. Justin, again, thanks for the super chat. Says, honestly, I'm surprised there wasn't a bald eagle fireworks and a cheeseburger in the damn picture. You're not wrong. It could not have been better. He was so fortuitous with the way that all came together. You're right, 100%. And there should have been a young freckle-faced kid playing baseball in the background too. Jeez, you're 100% right. He, as I said, he just stepped in shit with that. Kaiser says, my mom told me about how in the 80s she heard a climate scientist mention the cyclic nature. Sure. She remembers a huge snowstorm when my brother was born in the 80s and how it occurs every 30 years. Oh, hell. In the 70s even, Kaiser. I'm trying to remember how old I was. Would have been early 70s, and this was upstate New York. On Thanksgiving, we had a blizzard that was like just unbelievable, to the point where if I was 11, my little sister would have been, what are we, 7 years apart? 7 years apart. So 4. So she's probably 4 or 5. The storm was so bad because, we'd go outside and play in it. We love playing in the snow. That it was only like a third of the way through the day. And we had to come in because my sister was getting buried. She couldn't even move. We ended up, I think, 30-something inches in one storm. And the funny thing is, when I was a kid, that was not all that unusual. We would get big storms every year. And now this one, and again, this this one has been explained by people in the know. I don't think there's any disagreement on this. That's not necessarily climate change. This one is just because a changing in the patterns of the what the hell did they say? The jet stream. It's just the way that moisture gets carried across the country now. So that one isn't really an issue climate change wise, but man, that's changed a lot because again, when I was a kid, whew. And again, thanks for super chat, Justin. Says, did you see the shooter was wearing a YouTuber's merch? I did. I saw. I didn't know the YouTuber, but I mean, once I had read about it, then I checked him out. Demolition Ranch, pretty big channel too. Poor guy had to make a video. Oh, did he? Oh, I didn't even think of that, Justin. Having that connection, yeah, because that Demolition Ranch is a shooting channel, right? And that's their whole backbone. Oh, yeah, that is too bad for that guy. I mean, you're just trying to put out content and entertain people, and to get associated with something like that, I hadn't even thought about that. Yeah, that really sucks. Oh, Chrome's got another link. She says, oh, now this is an interesting statement for them to make. Let me take a peek, guys. Kim Cheeto, I couldn't put a sniper on the roof because it was sloped. Too dangerous, except the sniper's in position around a slope. What? What? Because it was sloped? Do they know the condition? Listen, I've told you guys, my sister's fiance, I've told you this before, was a real life, the real deal sniper. As real gets sniper. The stories he has are amazing, and those are just the ones he's allowed to tell. He's a nationally ranked competitive shooter right now, to give you an idea. But anyway, he tells me about some of the shit that they had to lie in, and the way they had to maneuver themselves in the uncomfortable positions they would have to stay in for hours. Guess what? All of it was way worse than a sloped roof. What the fuck is that? That's one of the most moronic things I've read. Jesus Christ. Raven. We're talking about the Alec Baldwin trial. Says judge was so mad too because it was indicating the withheld evidence was intentional on the prosecutor. Whether you think he was guilty or not, he has a right to a fair trial, and it got violated. Sure he does. And again, I'm not an Alec Baldwin fan, but I don't want him convicted of anything that he doesn't deserve. And all I was saying by my personal take on it is just because that's how I was raised, because I was raised around guns. And there's just no way. I mean, if you give me a little toy gun with the orange thing on the end, then I'll point it at somebody and pull the trigger. If it's a gun that has the capability of propelling an object really fast at somebody, I'm checking the chamber. You give it to me. I don't give a shit who handled it over here, what prop guy, whoever. I want to see what's in it. Bro, the snipers are on a slope roof. I know, Jesse. That's asinine. That's absolutely asinine. It's my sister's fiance is a very, very low-key guy and super, super nice guy. And he's not big on attention or anything. It's too bad because I'd love to have him on. Because I guarantee you, without talking to him, guarantee you he would tell you, yes, they can do a job on a slope roof. Dr. Dare, good to see you, pal. Glad you're in with us. Yes, sir. Classically Christian says, hey, Curtis, would you let me know what happened to the Wrestling Reaction channel? I don't see it anymore. Yeah, I didn't post today. I posted yesterday, day before that. It's just Curtis Candy. If you just search Curtis Candy on YouTube, the channel should come right up. Hey, Wild Boar. Yo, finally free for a live stream. Hope everyone's having a beautiful day. Hope you are too, pal. Let's see. Yeah, J Money's got a good point too. Says, I don't even care about putting someone there. Why did they ignore when people told them there was someone there? And that's all, that's all on video. It's not alleged. You got people screaming, hey, he's got a gun. again, I'm always very reticent to get into the conspiracy mindset. But as far as this whole thing goes, as I said, the way I see it, there are two and only two possible explanations. Either there's something dirty going on here, or the Secret Service and more the law enforcement agencies that were tasked with protection are fuck ups. That's it. Those are the only two options. We were talking about that earlier, Jamaica Joe Mama. What do you think would have happened if the bullet hit? Would we be in a civil war? What's your thought? We'd be in a bad spot right now. I do think there would have been violence. Yeah. Because, as I said, listen, both sides have their extremists. We've seen plenty of that. And I think that would have made the right extremists go right off the wall. I don't believe they would have been willing to wait and get all the details and find out who did it or why. I think it would have come unglued. That's what I'm thinking. C6 Psychology says it's not conspiracy, it's incompetence. Right. But as I said, those are the only two options, right? I mean, it's got to be one of the two. Either somebody's dirty or somebody's stupid. It's got to be one of those two things. Easy Gain says, Curtis, me and Big Monkey agree on the same thing. Oh, I didn't see. I'm sorry, pal. I didn't see the conversation. No, I like the fact that we have people. Listen, I've said all along, especially when we talk politics, whatever your views are, you're more than welcome here. I like getting opposing viewpoints. It's fun, with me leaning right to have liberals in here and stuff. It's good conversation. Now, when you get and this happens very rarely for us, surprisingly, when you get the idiots in here that can't control themselves and just want to start, name calling and this general stupidity that you see otherwise on the internet, we just shit can you. But if you want to come in and have a conversation, it's great. I love having people with different. You don't learn anything unless you hear opposing perspectives. Doesn't mean you take on their perspective. It just means you learn what theirs is. Nick says, have I ever lost a fight? Oh, plenty. I like to say no. I don't say no. Hey, you kidding me? I'm a badass. No, lost plenty of them. Won plenty of them too, in fairness. But yeah, lost plenty. There you go, Rosa. Oh, and I forgot. And Rosa's got it right, too. You got to be all in caps when you're going to do that. You're an idiot. How dare you tell me I can't control myself? I have great self-control, you loser fascist. Break out those buzzwords, too, Rosa. Good job. Mr. Andrew, hot tub stream when? When I get a goddamn hot tub. Big Monkey says, I just got to say, Curtis, you've made quite the community. These guys have all been very common. I see no arguments. I couldn't tell you how proud I am of that. And, the gang here with me, a lot of us have been doing this together for literal years. We started streaming at this channel when YouTube offered streaming. Since almost day one, we've been on here. And it's very rare that we get one of those, but we don't tolerate them. And a lot of times you get the psychos in there and they're just looking for attention. And we're not going to give it to them. I mean, I'll give it to them in ranking them down and saying some mean things to them because I find that to be humorous. But then we just get rid of them. Because it's fun. Again, that's another thing that has always tends to get me to this day. And I see it so much in my generation. I have a lot of issues with my own generation. My generation, in general, now again, obviously we're just talking generalities, just seems to have such a disdain for the younger generations, and they don't want to work, and they don't want to do this, and they don't want to do that. And they're so full of shit. Because we had the exact same thing in our generation growing up too. We had plenty of people that didn't have any motivation, didn't have this, didn't have that. And my generation was much bigger on bullying and being scumbags in general than this generation, the younger generations now. It still goes on, but I think there's a lot more sensitivity to it now and everything. It just drives me nuts. I learn, and it happens to me all the time now because I told you guys I've gotten way into playing pickleball. I started just because I was trying to get in better shape, but I love the game. Well, you end up playing with a lot of people in my generation. I generally, in between games, I'll talk here and there, but for the most part, sit by myself because I don't want to listen to people complain about the good old days or why this is wrong or, why can't things be the way they were. Back in my day, things sucked. A lot of things, not everything, but a lot of things sucked. Women were treated like second-class citizens. That used to infuriate me when I was a kid. I mean, I don't want to get into all that, but needless to say, I learn more from young people than I do from people my own age. A ton more. That's not even close. Justin, again, a super chat. Thank you, my friend. Here to ask the real question: salad or American cheese, or you lose both thumbs? Oh, I got to eat one or the other. Salad. Oh yeah, the only thing that can rival American cheese, Justin, is mayonnaise. Ugh. But salad. I mean, I don't like salad. You guys know that I don't eat anything that a rabbit eats. But I can get it down. I can eat lettuce. I can eat tomatoes or whatever else you want to put on it. I won't like it, but I can do it. But American cheese or mayo, and I'm going to puke. And thanks for the super chat, Opinionated Observer. Thank you. Hey, love your work. Well, thanks. Quick question. As a Brit, if a war breaks out and America gets involved, can elections be suspended? Because what's happening in the world, sneaky suspicion. A lot of people are concerned about that. And to be 100% honest with you, I'm not sure. That's a good question. And you hear it talked about a lot. I'm not sure what the process is. I don't believe the president can issue an EO, an executive order to do so, but I could be wrong. I would think it would have to get through Congress. Excuse me. That's a very good question. And yeah, I hear a lot of people talking about that, having that fear, and it absolutely could be a legitimate fear. I'll have to look that up. I'm glad you brought that. I'm not sure, to be honest with you. And somebody in here may know right offhand. But I'm not sure what that process is. I don't think a president can do it by EO. I don't think. Easy licks. Jeez, they're out. Everybody that says that, they're coming after them. Truly a tragedy. A tragedy that they miss, Zing Lick says. And have you guys seen, I mean, they're getting people fired from their jobs left and right online. But again, to come out and say, and in this context, and I know, and Licks does not like Trump, but trust me, it was said in humor. But even at that, I mean, you got people in positions of authority, teachers and people with high-ranking positions in major companies saying things like that, and they're getting canned left and right. They're tracking them down, and damn. Chrome says, I mean, that sounds like a really easy choice for Curtis. Steak salad literally exists, or macaroni salad, or chicken salad, or mayo salad. All his favorites, miso salad. That's the problem, though. So many of those salads, Chrome, have mayo in them. And as soon as the mayo goes in, I'm out. Oh. That's actually, I think I've got a hierarchy. For the longest time, it was hard for me to pick one over the other. But I will say, as bad as American cheese is, mayo's the worst. It's mayo, and then American cheese is right here. Chrome says, any thoughts on Trump's VP pick, Vance? I don't think he's a bad choice. I mean, for what they want to accomplish, I don't think he's a bad choice. He's a good speaker. Pretty smart guy. He's similar to Trump for me. I'm going to vote for Trump, but I don't like a lot of the way he presents himself, and I don't like him as a person. I think Vance is going to fall basically in that same category. I'll vote for him because from a political standpoint, from his platitudes, he aligns more closely with me. But as far as a dude, no. I told you guys, it's so bizarre. I've said this before. If you said I could hang out with any one president that's in my lifetime, I could hang out with them or could have hung out with them, who would it be? It would be somebody who I have very, very little in common with as far as beliefs. It would have been Obama. I like Obama. I think as a guy, as a dude, I think Obama's all right. I don't agree with him politically, but it's almost like you're not allowed to say things like that anymore. You know, it has to be one team or the other. But as far as people, I don't like Donald Trump as a person. I just, again, I much more align with his platitudes, with his stances on issues. Um, but you go back through Clinton. Clinton would have probably been a party to hang out with. In fairness, Carter I thought was a tool. Not a big fan of the Bush boys. They were okay. I mean, nothing personal against them. Um, but yeah, I can honestly say, because it seems to me by the time you get to that level of politics where you're, a big name in national politics, you've lost so much touch with the day-to-day reality of people like us, just regular people, that I don't feel any type of a connection. But I think Obama was, I think he's a pretty good dude. I don't agree with him on much. To have a political conversation with him, we're going to be on the opposite side of the fence way more often than we are in agreement. But he seems like a good dude. Yeah, Demi says Obama was a smooth ass dude. He made smoking cigs look cool. Yeah, I mean, and he does. He just seems like, and again, this is just my opinion, if you get him away from his job and you were just hanging out, come over, let's hang out and watch football. He seems like he'd be fun to hang out with. And he's an intelligent guy, good conversationalist, good sense of humor. Justin, again, thanks for the super chat. Says, no, it's funny. There are people who use mayo on their bread to make grilled cheese sandwich. Oh, seriously? Oh, because a grilled cheese sandwich isn't disgusting enough as is. Oh, I can't even imagine that. And you know what, you guys? I've told you I'm the world's worst cook. One of the few things I can make well is grilled cheese sandwiches. But I don't eat them. That's only because it was Braxton's favorite from the time he was little. It's like, well, I'm not going to, he's a little boy. I'm not going to make him only be able to have grilled cheese when his mom's home. So I taught myself to make, and I know it's not hard to make a grilled cheese, but I mean, I made them perfect. I got to where you had that perfect little golden brown on each side, just the right amount of melt on the cheese. And the whole time I was making it, I'm looking at that cheese going, Jonah, thanks for the super chat, Jonah. Joe, hey Spazzo, I apologize. I'm eating Taco Bell. Oh, I haven't had Taco Bell in ages, and now this is how boring I am. This is called the No Condiments. Well, the No Condiments streams are going to be the ones where we just talk about anything. But I'll tell you, Jonah, when I get Taco Bell, this is what I order. Some of you guys already know this. I order burritos, meat, and tortilla shell. That's it. No sauce, no lettuce, no tomato, no nothing. Take some goddamn meat, put it on the tortilla shell, and wrap it up. And you have to explain, which I understand, but you have to explain that to them 27 times because they don't believe that's possible. That's what you want. Observer says, again, thank you for the super chat. Says, thanks for the answer. Quick one as well. Do you think the gaming industry in terms of mid-tier games are not as numerous like in the 90s? Yeah, yes. Are not as numerous? Yes, I would agree with that. And it could be because in the 90s, in fairness, I was playing a lot more games than I play now. It's just because I had more time. So my opinion could be swayed by the fact that back in the 90s, I really knew the rosters of games that were out there. So I could be wrong, but does it appear to me that way? Yes. Yeah, I would agree with that. But back, as I said, in the 90s when I was still heavily into gaming, and I still love gaming, I just don't have time for it. I adore gaming. I go by Braxton, of course, Braxton and Brittany have bought their own home now, but when they were staying with us, I would go by we had a room set up for them for both their computers so they could work from home and stuff. But I would go by their room and see them in there playing on the Xbox or playing on their PCs, and it just made me feel good seeing them in there playing and stuff. Wanted to get involved. It's like, no, because you don't have the time, and if you get involved with it, you'll start ignoring things you're supposed to be doing. Demi says, meat and tortilla only is criminal. I think I got to report you to law enforcement. I'm a repeat offender, Demi. I'm sure people have reported me already, just from the looks I get in Taco Bell when I make my order. Jonas says, I just ate a cheesy rice bean burrito. The funny thing about that is those smell good to me and they look good to me. But the ingredients in them make me want to, True. Chrome's right. She says you're playing some good games now, at least Dragon Quest, Persona, Spyro, 100%. I am so appreciative of Chrome and everybody that sponsors games for us over at the Goosh. And that I get to stay in touch with gaming. I really do appreciate that because, yes, we are playing some really, really fun games. And games that I never would have thought to play if it weren't for the gang sponsoring them. Oh, I'm glad you brought that up, Chrome, too. I'll make posts about this. I should have done it by now over at the Goosh. We are, I'm going to be gone for a week coming up. That's why I'm getting way ahead on stuff for the Goosh, stuff for the channels. It'll be from the 21st through the 27th. We're going to be gone. We have promised my grandson, since my grandson's a Disney fanatic just like his grandma. And we've promised him since he was little that for his 16th birthday, we would take him to Disney World. And this is his 16th birthday trip. Can't believe it's here already. His 16th birthday. So, excuse me. I will be away for those days. I'm hoping to maybe get a chance at least to check in with you guys in a stream while I'm there. It gets pretty busy while we're in Dizzy, but in Dizzy. I'm always dizzy. Lex says, I just called the Mexican police on you. They should have a donkey to come and put you in a nacho handcuffs any minute now. Oh, if a donkey's coming, it's going to be a party, Lex. How about Taco Bell's grilled cheese burrito? I just can't do the cheese. Look fun. I said I can't do it. Those are my burritos. Tortilla shell and meat. Thank you, Chrome. I appreciate that. Sweet 16. Yeah, Maximus. He's a good boy, too. He really, and not just because he's my grandson. He's a really good kid. Good athlete, too. Very good athlete. Plays football, baseball, all that. But he's just, that's the best way to put it. He's just a good kid. He's very chill, very quiet, just enjoyable to have around. Wow. Rosa says the 17-year-old won the Euros on Sunday. He's the youngest ever player, youngest ever goal scorer and assister in the Euros, and the youngest ever player to win a major international trophy. Yeah, at 17, that's incredibly wild. Because, typically men don't stop progressing or growing up physically till a lot of times 21, sometimes even 22. Well, it'd be like a 17-year-old playing in the NFL. It ain't going to happen. So a 17-year-old playing at that level, that's crazy. Wow. J Money says D Platform Curtis grilled cheese and mayo rock. Please don't give YouTube any ideas. don't give them another reason. We could have somebody from YouTube in there monitoring the stream going right now going, you know what? He's kind of got a point. Yeah. Moose Bill National says, that reminds me, I was looking at the Taco Bell menu from the 70s and it was sad compared to the menu now. Oh, I'll bet. Literally 6 items: taco, burrito, bell burger, enchilada, frijoles, and tostada. Isn't that funny? I can even remember though, when I was a kid at McDonald's, and you guys mostly won't remember this, of course. McDonald's used to have on all their signs, of course there weren't as many McDonald's back then, on their signs outside, it would say over X amount of million burgers sold. And they would keep updating that sign. And it would be like over 10 million burgers sold, over 60 million burgers sold. Now they probably sell that in a day. But for the longest time, excuse me, that was actually on their sign and they would keep updating it. That's how old I am. Ranma 1 half reboot tomorrow? Chrome? Oh, I love Ranma. That's so much fun. That show's a riot. No Baja Blast. Why even live? I like your PFP too, Finkel. The boss is so awesome. Mr. Boss. Maximus says, I will say Japanese mayo is the reason I was able to like mayo. But the American shit is still garbage. Oh, it's so horrible. Japanese mayo doesn't even taste the same. Really? I had to ask to make sure it was actually mayo. Really? That's interesting. Because, yeah, I'm telling you, Maximus, no exaggeration, that That is the most disgusting food there is to me, is mayo. Oh, something else I was leading to. I got Chrome here, Maximus here. Um, so that's what I was starting to say. We're getting back late on the 27th. I'll be back doing videos and stuff on the 28th. So just so you guys know, I didn't forget about you. I'm saving the gaming towards the end. So we'll be doing the gaming streams that are sponsored over at the Goosh. We'll be doing those in those last few days. But that's what I was leading towards when I told you guys about the vacation. I just didn't want you guys to think I'd forgotten about you. Yes. Do any of them still say that, C6 Psychology? He says it's why McDonald's signs now say billions and billions sold. I had seen that. Do they still do that at all? Yeah, I remember when they switched it. I think when they first switched it might have even said millions and millions sold. But yes, I didn't know if they still put that on any of the signs. Demi says, my grandma said her and her friends used to always go to White Castle during school lunch. Her school was one of the first mixed-race schools in the South. So much tension, but everyone met at that spot. Isn't that cool? I mean, it's just nice that maybe there was an oasis where people could not just hate on each other and just enjoy having a burger together. Nice to think about. Big Monkey says, when I was 7, I hated American cheese. In response to getting it on my burger, I flipped off the cashier. My grandma, in response, slapped the shit out of me. I still hate American cheese. That's a great fucking story right there. That's such a great visual that painted in my mind. Here's Monkey at 7 years old, got American cheese on his burger, going, fuck you. And grandma just beating the dog shit out of you. Oh, that's a great story. That's good shit. You know what, guys? I gotta go. I forgot my wife. She's going out to the movies with some of her girlfriends tonight, so we gotta eat dinner early. So I gotta get downstairs so we can eat. But that was a great way to leave this. That's a good story, Monkey. I like that one a lot because it just paints such a great visual. Guys, thank you so much for the stream. This was a blast. And again, just so you guys know, when I call a stream a No Condiments live stream, all it means is, and everybody will get used to this as we go, it just means you can talk about whatever you want. There's no specific topic. It's just, and these are my favorite streams, to be honest with you. This is because we end up with streams like this. This was an absolute blast. Miss Big Green today. Too bad he couldn't be in, but I'm sure he'll be with us in one of the upcoming streams sometime soon. Thank you guys so much for all this. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the laughs. This was a good time. And I will certainly talk to you guys as soon as I can.